Alright, let's show this 40-carat son of a bitch who's boss. Last episode of Let's Play the Minish, we got our ass handed to us by this tektite, and looks like it's the same thing this time. Oh boy. Okay, well I did a little practice of this. Yes, I actually practiced this. I found it being to the far left over here the best. Mainly, you just want to like just stand in place, and just wait for him to come to you. And yeah, I mean you are gonna take a lot of damage, just still be close. You have to do some dodging. Actually, no, I'm starting to find this a good idea, to keep yourself kind of against a wall. If you move, you can kind of adjust to it, but yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, right there, that was perfect. Only lost about 3.5 hearts of damage. Alright, so let's go get that boomerang. Okay, we're back at the shop, and let's purchase this boomerang. Again, it is worth 300 rupees, and as you can see, it's pretty easy to grind for rupees in this game because of the whole kinstone fusion aspect, even though sometimes those golden tektites can kick your ass. But yeah, it's pretty easy to get rupees in this game, so you don't have to worry about that at all. But anyway, now that we have the boomerang, I'll show it off a little bit. It's pretty much your standard boomerang. It goes a decent length, and you can actually shoot it diagonally if you point the D-pad or control stick in the direction you want to throw it. So that's pretty nice. Now, what we want to do next is actually go into this library. This is going to be the beginning of a huge side quest, which does matter towards actually getting to our next dungeon. So this is required to do in the game. I'm going to go to Lake Hylia, which in the last episode we actually got a bottle full of dog food from the shopkeeper, and you don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it because the empty bottle is actually set to your... It's actually not on your items list right now. You can see right now we still have one bottle, and then you can see on the quest status screen you have the bottle full of dog food there. So you have to walk up to the bowl and hit check, and then once you pour the dog food, you get the empty bottle, and now the bottle is on our inventory, like so. So now we have 2 bottles. We need, and in every Zelda game you get 4 bottles, so there are 2 more that we can get. There's also a pot in there we can use to shrink with, but there's really no point to it. Again, you can talk to animals, so I guess you can fuse kinstones with the dog, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I actually do make a mistake going into Hyrule Town. Post-commentating this part in case you couldn't tell, just because it's more convenient to me. But this guy's still blocking the way. You actually want to go back to Lake Hylia. So what you actually have to do, and I don't know how you actually would figure this out. I don't know how you would figure out to do this. But you actually have to go to Lake Hylia and go into this Minish house, and then talk to this Minish. And he will tell us about another elder. He'll also tell us about the Temple of Droplets that's in our next temple. And he's going to tell us about the Elder Librari, and that's kind of your indication that you have to go to the library for the big side quest. Now, I don't have anything to fuse with them, so we're not going to do that. So let's go back to the town. And again, we can just use our wind flute to get over there. And now the guy is... Oh, by the way, Malon's at the town now in front of that wooden horse. But yeah, now the guy's no longer blocking the library. And what we want to do is go upstairs. And if you pay close attention to the floor, you can see some little footprints. And this guy... Yeah, this guy's crazy. I don't care what you say. He's a crazy old coot. We can fuse with them, so let's fuse with this crazy old coot. Sturgeon. His name's Sturgeon. That's a funny name. Sturgeon. And yeah, fusing with him makes another one of these pools in the Castle Garden drain. I believe it's on the left. Yeah, it should be on the left side of the garden. So we can check that out later. And what you want to do is actually shrink down. So get your Kanapaki out and flip this over like you usually would. And you can see a ladder on the building there you can climb down, but we can't really you don't have anything to gain by doing that. But yeah, once you walk up to the bookcase, you'll get taken to a normal camera perspective, and you can talk to this Minish, and he said some humans checked out some books from the library, and that's the big key to this side quest, is we'll be collecting books. You can see there's an empty slot to the left over here, and there's a book right here we can climb up. So you can kind of see where this is going. We're gonna have to collect books, and as we collect books, we will be filling out this bookcase, and we'll be able to climb up, and eventually we'll be able to climb our way over to the Elder Library and get closer to getting what we want to get to access the next dungeon. And so after just growing back up, I decided to cut that out. And we are gonna have to talk to this guy on the left. Remember to keep coming back to this guy, and he will tell you where the next book is. And there are 3 books we have to collect. And the first one, he says, was checked out by a girl with a cat. So you definitely gotta pay attention to the highlighted text, which is typical in Zelda games. They have highlighted text, which gives you a clue to what you want to do next. And I personally think that's what they should stick to, instead of just having this stupid side character, this sidekick character like Elzo, because you can figure out what to do as long as you follow that highlighted text. Right here is the house that you want to go into. You can see the book on top of the shelf there. And you may use your Link to the Past logic, because if you played that game, and if you haven't played Link to the Past, what's wrong with you? Then you remember the Book of Medora, where you have to dash into the wall to make it fall down from the top of the shelf. So you may think you want to do that, but that's actually not what you want to do. What you want to do is actually shrink it down and climb up the ladder on the wall there and push the book down. So we want to go over to this building and flip this pot over, but in order to actually get to the next door building where the book is, you actually have to go into one of those fireplaces, and you want to go into the one on the right, but there's a fire, as you can see, blocking the way. So we actually want to go over and get some water with one of our empty bottles. And you pour it onto the fire, because the fireplace on the left leaves you nowhere. There's no point to go in it. So you want to shrink down and go to the one on the right. You can't go in there as normal Link. You have to be Minish to go over here. As you could probably guess. And you end up on the other side. Elzo will keep annoying us. I hate Elzo. And you gotta watch out for the cat here, actually, because he can hurt you. Just kind of a little thing. But yeah, and you can just push the book down. And this can get a little bit tedious. That's why I do a lot of editing here, so bear with me on the editing. But yeah, so yeah, I'll cut back here. Come back as big Link to pick the book up. You can't pick it up as Minish Link, as you could guess, and we're back at the library. So yeah, sorry if this editing's a little bit abrupt. I tried to squeeze this whole thing into one video. So yeah, now after you return the first book, you have to talk to him immediately after, and he'll tell you the next one was checked out by a absent-minded scholar. Now this could confuse you for a little bit, because on the eastern side of the town, you'll notice this guy, and you may think that this is the absent-minded scholar because it's clearly a teacher. But no, that's not the correct scholar to go to. And this could take you quite a bit of exploring to figure out. This book here, the second book, is the one that takes the longest to get. And that dog right there, this is why you have to move the dog out of the way. Because otherwise the dog will be blocking your way down here. You have to go into this house, and this is where the absent-minded scholar is. And his name is Dr. Left, and he apparently doesn't know where the book is that you just checked out. So he gives you a little bit of a clue. I guess this is your way of figuring out, is that a mouse might have taken it. And that's kind of your clue that, okay, maybe you have to shrink down to Minish size and go into one of the houses and maybe find a mouse, you know? It's a logical thinking. But, so we actually want to first get water. I'm kind of all over the place. You just gotta use the water on the fireplace to put the fire up. If you want to go through the fireplace first, you may think to go through the hole in the wall first, because you said maybe a mouse took it, but I can show you. I mean, eventually we'll be going through that, but I'll show you that later on. Right now, I just want to go through the fireplace. And our ultimate destination is actually the hole at the top of there. That's where the book is. So, yeah, that's our ultimate destination, but we can't get there without pushing those chests out of the way. And actually, in this house is just a Minish. I'm going to fuse with him really quick. And make something somewhat important happen. We get a lily pad that we can go onto as Minish Link, and that will lead us to that hole over there at the Caster Wild. So we'll do that a little bit later. But anyway, eventually we're going to need... Our ultimate goal right here is to get the power bracelets, which will allow us to move bookshelves, but we want to go through that back hole, but that asshole Minish is blocking our way. So, in order to get him to move out of the way, we actually have to talk to this mission here. And that's kind of a weird thing about this side quest and this game in general, is to make certain things happen. You have to talk to certain NPCs to actually activate, certain things to happen. Because, like, with the guy blocking the library, you had to talk to the Minish in the Lake Hylia to actually make him move. So it's the same case here. To make that Minish move in that house up north, you actually have to talk to that Minish in this house to make him move. So now he's out of the way, and we can move on and make our way to where the power places are, and just move your way around. Thankfully, this Minish isn't in our way. And you have to get by these cats. These cats will attack you, and they do a lot of damage. I think, was that a full heart? I think that was a full heart. But yeah, you gotta watch out for those cats. They can kill you. I've died on them before. So, yeah, just gotta be careful there. We're taken into this area where we have some slugs to fight. You don't have to fight them if you don't want. Just move over here. Just get some health, because we're getting kind of low. And eventually I'll actually be able to show off how awesome the boomerang is. What we actually want to do is use your can of packing on that hole. I want to get some health and stuff first. It's a fairy right there, which is nice. I want to use your can of packing on this, so you can actually launch yourself up to the next ledge. And if you don't want to get hit by those blades, you want to stay in there. And right here we have a little bit of somewhat of a mini boss fight, and this is where I'll get to show off the boomerang. I love the boomerang in the Zelda series. It kicks ass. I use it, I abuse it in every game. It is my favorite item of the Zelda series. And I always have it equipped. And if you're gonna watch my Zelda LPs, then get used to me using the boomerang a lot. And yeah, once you defeat all those guys, you get a chest, get the power bracelets. But yeah, the boomerang, I just use it to death. Even like in Smash Brothers, I always use the boomerang whenever I play as Link. Alright, so now we can actually go back into the house, and now we can push these chests out of the way. And this will allow us to get up to that hole up there. I don't think you ever use the power bracelets as normal size Link, which is kind of interesting. I may be wrong about that, don't quote me on that. But mainly you'll be using them to push chests out of the way as Minish Link. Now right here we're at this attic. That book up there is not the book we're looking for. You might think it is, but it's not. What you actually want to do is split off into two and make your way over to this book over here. This is the book that we want, this book kind of off the ledge, this Minish is on, and we need to stand on the edge of this as we're split off in order to allow for enough weight to knock the book down. If you try it as just one Link, you won't be able to knock it down. You have to split off into two. Don't really know how hologram Link gives you weight to knock that thing down, but whatever. It's a video game, don't question it. So you have to grow back up. These carpenters will eventually be we'll eventually move someplace else in the overworld as we go throughout the game. Yeah, now once we're grown, we can grab this book and we can return back to the library. And now that we have this, we only have one more book that we need to go retrieve. And the librarian will tell us it's the history of math. Now this is another one that you just have to kind of explore to find. And where you want to go is to the East Hyrule town, and you have to go to the mayor's house. And I guess the way to know that this is where you want to be is he has math on his wall. So I guess this guy's interested in math, and so that's why he would have a book called The History of Math. And what I'm doing here is actually getting rid of the math on the wall, because you can just dash with your Pegasus boots to get rid of the math, and you'll eventually be able to get to that hole on the wall. Fusing Kinstones to this guy will make this water pool drain and make a staircase appear. And we will be going down that very soon. But there's a few little things we can do here. We can talk to him. He'll tell us... Actually, I don't think he tells us anything important. He's kind of like the scholar. He's like, oh, I don't know anything about that. So, what you're eventually going to have to do is go up to that wall. But first, let me go down here and grab this chest. You cannot move that block out of the way. You might think you can with the power places, but no, you can't. You can't push it out of the way right now as normal Link. So we'll be coming back here later, but not for the time being. What we're going to want to do... I'm not sure if you have to do this in order to make the book appear, but knowing this side quest with the way you have to talk to NPCs to make certain things happen, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just do it to be safe. Gotta shrink down and climb up the ladder. And then you will make your way over to this hole into the wall and talk to these guys. We're going to end this episode off pretty soon. I'm not going to be able to get all of the books in this episode because it's getting a little bit long already as it is. So yeah, after you talk to them, they'll mark off on the map where the house is that you have to go find the book. That house they marked off is where the mayor's house is, and that's where we'll be going next. And they say you have to go through the Minish woods to get to that, so keep that in mind. And I'm going to end this episode off here, so next time on the Minish Cap we will go get that book and complete this side quest. So yeah, see you then.